This image is in a folder, in the folder called Sound and Light. If you want to get a copy of it while you watch this video, that might be a good idea. So this flowchart, we can really, it's almost like a cycle. We can pick it up anywhere we want, but I think I'm going to start right here with light hitting an atom. So I'm going to start off by drawing a nucleus, and we know that the nucleus is positive, so I think what I'll do is I'll shade that in red. And then going around the nucleus, we've got these electrons flying around. And they're all over the place. You know, they do lots of crazy things. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to go simpler. I'm just going to say that the electron is flying around the nucleus, and I'm going to say it's in this kind of a pattern. It's just going in a circle. So here we've got this electron. And usually I write E- for electrons. So I think right here, so light hits an atom. So this atom's just sitting here, his electrons flying all over the place. And what we're going to do is we're going to say that some light comes in, and you know that light, has different wavelengths. You've already passed those quizzes, I think. And the light that comes in, we're going to say that it interacts with this electron. So this light that came in has some energy, and it can interact with this electron, and it can give the electron more energy. So when the electron gets that extra energy, what happens is it jumps out to a higher distance. It's going faster. It's got more energy. So it's got to go somewhere. It can't be this close to the nucleus, because when it was this close, it had less energy. So the electron jumps out to a new position, and it's going around the nucleus still. It's just at a greater distance. So where are we on the flowchart now? We're actually halfway through it. So we said that an electron absorbs some energy. That's what we were talking about right here. And the electron jumps to a higher level. That's what we were talking about in this neighborhood right here. So now this atom has got this extra energy. That's what we call an atom being in an excited state. So the atom has more energy than it usually has. And so what does the atom want to do? Well, think about this analogy. You've got a hill. There's a rock on the hill. This just kind of looks weird, right? The rock would have less energy if it was down at the bottom of the hill. So that's why we tend to see rocks rolling down hills, not up. So this atom is kind of, I don't want to say unhappy, because that, atoms don't have brains, but it's kind of a way to think about it. This atom would rather have the electron be back down here. So what happens is, after a certain amount of time, is this electron does fall back down to where it was. And when the electron falls back down to a lower level, it has to release that energy that it took in. So this energy is going to come shooting out in the form of another wave. So this is what we would call the light that was emitted. And so if the wavelength is really short, it might be something that we can't see, like ultraviolet. If the wave was really long, it might be something that we can't see, like infrared. Or if the wave was somewhere in between, it might be the color green, perhaps. Or, any of the other colors that we can see. So that's where the light that we see comes from. The light that we see comes from an atom's electrons. They absorb energy. As a wave comes in and hits them, their electrons jump to higher levels. The electron isn't really stable there. It wants to become stable, so it falls back down. When the electron falls back down to a lower level, it gives off the energy that it took in. So it might be more detail than this video needs, but it's possible that the electron, when it falls back down, it might do so in some smaller steps on its way back down, and so you might get different emissions. You might get certain waves, more than one wave emitted. And lastly, I put this on the graphic. An atom with no extra energy is said to be in a ground state. So an atom that has extra energy, we say that's in an excited state, and an atom that's just kind of sitting there with no extra energy, we call that the ground state. So there you go.